The swirls of smoke, the streaks of lightning, the molten fiery lava spewed wantonly towards all possible directions, the colors, the majesty. All these things constitutes the awe of volcanic eruptions. No firework display by man could even come close to the might and majesty of volcanic activity. Nature at her most terrifying yet strangely hypnotic. Welcome to Amazing Top 10 Facts. Every Tuesday and Friday we bring you about the most amazing facts to find out. Please subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Nothing on Earth can compare with the sight of a volcano blowing its top and hurling hot lava into the atmosphere. There is no doubt that for jaw-dropping spectacle and terrible danger, volcanic eruptions are spectacularly hard to beat. The most impressive are undoubtedly those where red-hot lava and ash are hurled explosively skyward, likely in the direction any living thing in the vicinity. History has seen some monstrous eruptions of volcanoes, from Mount Pinatubo's weather-cooling burp to the explosion of Mount Tambora, one of the tallest peaks in the Indonesian archipelago. As dangerous as these things sound, there are shocking footages to snap these mind-blowing volcanic eruptions. Check them out and be blown away. Here's a top 10 list of the biggest and powerful volcanic eruptions right in front you. Number 10. Soufriere Hills, Montserrat. The Soufriere Hills volcano is an active, complex stratovolcano with many lava domes forming its summit on the Caribbean island of Montserrat. Many volcanoes in the Caribbean are named Soufriere. These include La Soufriere or Soufriere Saint Vincent on the island of Saint Vincent and La Grande Soufriere on Guadeloupe. After a long period of dormancy, the Soufriere Hills volcano became active in 1995 and has continued to erupt ever since. Its eruptions have rendered more than half of Montserrat uninhabitable, destroying the capital city, Plymouth, and causing widespread evacuations. About 2/3 of the population have left the island. It is andesitic in nature, and the current pattern of activity includes periods of lava dome growth, punctuated by brief episodes of dome collapse which result in pyroclastic flows, ash venting, and explosive eruption. Number 9. Anak Krakatau, Indonesia. Anak Krakatoa or Anak Krakatau is an island in a caldera in the Sunda Strait situated between the islands of Java and Sumatra in the Indonesian province of Lampung. On December 29, 1927, Anak Krakatau, or Child of Krakatoa, emerged from the caldera formed in 1883 by the explosive volcanic eruption which destroyed the island of Krakatoa. There has been sporadic eruptive activity at the site since the late 20th century, culminating with a large underwater collapse of the volcano which caused a deadly tsunami in December 2018. Due to its young age, the island is one of several in the area which are of considerable interest to volcanologists, and the subject of extensive study. Until its 2018 collapse, Anak Krakatau grew at 13 centimeters, 5.1 inches, per week on average since the 1950s. This equates to an average growth of 6.8 meters, 22 feet, per year. The island remains active in January 2019, with its most recent eruptive episode having begun in 1994. Number 8. Pinatubo, Philippines. Mount Pinatubo is an active stratovolcano in the Zambales Mountains. Its eruptive history was unknown to most before the pre-eruption volcanic activities of 1991, just before June. Pinatubo was heavily eroded, inconspicuous and obscured from view. It was covered with dense forests which supported a population of several thousand indigenous Aidas. Pinatubo is most notorious for its volcanic explosivity index 6 eruption on June 15, 1991, the second largest terrestrial eruption of the 20th century after the 1912 eruption of Novarupta in Alaska. Surrounding areas were severely damaged by pyroclastic surges, ash falls, and subsequently, by the flooding lahars caused by rainwater remobilizing earlier volcanic deposits. It had a significant impact on global climate, dropping average temperatures by -0.25 degrees Celsius, on average, for the next 5 years. Number 7. Kilauea, Hawaii, USA. Kilauea is an active shield volcano in the Hawaiian Islands, and the most active of the 5 volcanoes that together form the island of Hawaii. Located along the southeast shore of the island, Kilauea erupted nearly continuously from 1983 to 2018. On May 17, 2018, the volcano explosively erupted at the summit in Halemaumau crater. Continued explosive activity at the summit caused a months-long closure of the Kilauea section of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Vigorous eruptive lava fountains in Lower Puna sent destructive rivers of molten rock into the ocean in 3 places. The lava destroyed Hawaii's largest natural freshwater lake, covered substantial portions of Leilani Estates and Lanapuna Gardens, and completely inundated the communities of Cape O'o, vacation land Hawaii. Number 6. Etna, Italy. Mount Etna is an active stratovolcano on the east coast of Sicily, Italy. It lies above the convergent plate margin between the African plate and the Eurasian plate. It is the highest active volcano in Europe outside the Caucasus. It is currently 3,326 meters, 10,912 feet, high. It is the highest peak in Italy south of the Alps. Mount Etna is one of the world's most active volcanoes and is in an almost constant state of activity. The fertile volcanic soils support extensive agriculture, with vineyards and orchards spread across the lower slopes of the mountain and the broad plain of Catania to the south. Due to its history of recent activity and nearby population, Mount Etna has been designated a decade volcano by the United Nations. In June 2013, it was added to the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Number 5. Puyehu Cordón Col, Chile. Puyehu and Cordón Col are two coalesced volcanic edifices that form a major mountain massif in Puyehu National Park in the south of Chile. The volcanic complex has shaped the local landscape and produced a huge variety of volcanic landforms and products over the last 300,000 years. Cordón Col erupted shortly after the 1960 Valdivia earthquake, the largest recorded earthquake in history. A new eruption started on June 4, 2011. By the 4th, 3,500 people had been evacuated from nearby areas, while an ash cloud reaching 12,000 meters, 39,370 feet. By 15th of June, a dense column of ash was still erupting 10 kilometers into the air, with the ash cloud spreading across the southern hemisphere. Scientists expected intensifying eruptions of Puyehu in the following days, and said the volcano showed no signs of slowing down. Number 4. Shinmo-dake, Japan. Shinmo-dake is a volcano in Kagoshima Prefecture, Kyushu, Japan, located in a largely rural area some 985 kilometers from Tokyo, and a part of the Mount Kirishima cluster of volcanoes. It is believed to have formed between 7,300 and 25,000 years ago. Featured in the 1967 James Bond movie You Only Live Twice, the eruptions from Shinmo-dake have been recorded since 1716, and its most recent eruption in 2018. On March 6, 2018, a large eruption began launching rocks and ash to a height of 4.5 kilometers, 2.8 miles. On June 22, 2018, another eruption occurred, 4 days after a 6.1 MW earthquake struck Osaka on 18th of June, sending smoke and rocks thousands of meters into the air. Japan, which sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, has 110 active volcanoes and is prone to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Number 3. Eyjafjallajökull, Iceland. Eyjafjallajökull consists of a volcano completely covered by an ice cap. On January 16, 1967 there was an explosion on the glacier. It can be timed because the seismometers at Kirkju-Behar cluster monitor the movement. When about 15 million cubic meters, 530 million cubic feet, of material hit the glacier, a massive amount of air, ice, and water began to move out from under the glacier into the lagoon at the foot of the glacier. The volcano has erupted relatively frequently since the last glacial period, most recently in 2010. In March 2010, almost 3,000 small earthquakes were detected near the volcano, all having a depth of 7 to 10 kilometers, 4.3 to 6.2 miles. The seismic activity continued to increase, and from 3 to 5 March, close to 3,000 earthquakes were measured at the epicenter of the volcano. Number 2. Sakurajima, Japan. Sakurajima, one of Japan's most active volcanoes. Sakurajima is an active composite volcano, in Kagoshima Prefecture in Kyushu, Japan. Its last really big eruption was in 1914, when it spewed out lava for months on end. The lava flows connected it with the Azumi Peninsula. It is the most active volcano in Japan. The volcanic activity still continues. Sakurajima has been erupting almost non-stop since 1955, dropping volcanic ash on the surroundings, which continues as of March 2019. Earlier eruptions built the white sand highlands in the region. The most recent eruption started on May 2, 2017. Sakurajima is a stratovolcano. Its summit has 3 peaks: Kitadake, Northern Peak, Nakadake, Central Peak, and Minamadake, Southern Peak, which is active now. Number 1. Fimmvörðuháls, Iceland. Fimmvörðuháls is the area between the glaciers Eyjafjallajökull and Mýrdalsjökull in southern Iceland. On March 20, 2010, an eruption of the Eyjafjallajökull volcano began in Fimmvörðuháls. The eruption began around 2300 hours and opened a 0.5 kilometers (0.31 miles) long fissure vent on the northern part of the pass. Just over a week later, the Fimmvörðuháls eruption produced a 300-meter (980 feet) long fissure, and new craters were seen erupting on a northward path toward the area of Thorsmork, a popular tourist nature preserve, prompting tourists to stop briefly as volcanologists assess the situation further. The two new craters at Fimmvörðuháls were named Magni and Mothi, after the sons of Thor, the Norse god of thunder. The new lava field was named Gothraon, because the lava streamed in the area Gothaland. Thanks for watching. Do you like our video? Please give us thumbs up, subscribe our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. You can check these other recent videos from Amazing Top 10 Facts and follow us on social medias.